So happy Tuesday, July 7th. My name is Andrew Barclay. I am a customer success manager here at Vendasta. And today's topic is on our AI Jumpstart Tuesday is marketing your AI agency, build a lead strategy that works. So, hello to everyone that's here live. Hello to everyone that's watching the recording of this. So, along with myself, you have Lily Yip. She is another customer success manager here. You may have seen her lead one of these sessions before, and she'll be, she's over here on the other side of the room. Maybe a slight echo for that. And she can say hello.
Hello, everyone.
And welcome. And then the fun housekeeping logistics that we have this session, yes, it is being recorded. There are questions that will follow, so you can add questions to the chat all throughout the session today. There'll be a time at the end for questions and answers, so do not be shy to engage in that chat. Whether it's questions, comments, anything, feel free to be lively in there. And then replays, there's the AI Jumpstart playlist that's available on YouTube. So if you miss any of these sessions, you can check them out on the link there. All right. And then jumping into today's session. So really, I wanted to kick this off and call this your summer Dominion blueprint, which really is about authority of having agency over the things that you do. And many of you are these types of business owners. So really, this is going to flip the script on summer. Usually this is when a lot of agencies slow down. You are going to surge. So let's get into this. So by the end of today's session today, we are going to focus on three things. The first one is a clear agency audit. So you're going to know exactly where your agency marketing gaps, what your agency marketing has gaps. You'll know what to fix first this summer. I really should have made my screen larger. The second part here is we're going to do a platform walkthrough. So I'm going to do a live demo of some of the Vendasta tools that generate, capture, and convert leads 24/7. And then in the third part here, this is really the one I want to focus on with you folks, is a 90-day action plan. So there's a roadmap, a concrete roadmap that you can start today. You could start by the end of the week. No waiting for perfect. There's a full action plan here. All right. So I have a question for you folks. There's no polls actually in today's session, but I'm just curious if you want to put a me in the chat or give some thumbs up if summer has felt slow in your business. And if you're newer and starting your agency, you could be, this is my first summer, but I'd just love to know if that sounds like your agency. You can put me in the chat. You can put a thumbs up or do any type of emoji there. Got a couple thumbs up. Usually not this summer though. Oh, I love hearing that. Great. Well, as Michael says, not this summer. So it sounds like summer is ripe for opportunity. And really that is the purpose of this. So a lot of times, businesses coast in summer. Leads can go quiet. Clients slow down. Engagement slows down. And then the next thing you know, the team checks in. And September is here, it arrives, and you're scrambling to rebuild and actually put a plan into place. But those of you that are here, I know that's not you, especially not after today. Summer is really the time of opportunity. Now, one thing that I would say I've heard a lot with our partners is waiting for things to be perfect, the perfect time of year. The perfect website, the perfect pitch, having the perfect automation and business plan to guarantee success. And then perfect is the state of mind. It's the state of action that a lot of partners stay in. And instead of actually being out there and executing and in the doing of things, perfection really becomes the enemy of done. And it's famously quoted by Brene Brown. Perfection is the enemy of done. So I've actually worked with an agency earlier this year that spent about 5 months building the perfect business model. They wanted everything done a specific way, almost to guarantee success. And in those 5 months, They weren't generating any leads, they weren't trying anything out. And really, all of the business opportunities that would have come to those folks were going to the competitors who were able to either pick up a phone, respond to an email, or actually start engaging with them. Perfect also is the place where you can be futzing around in the background. Now, futzing is another term that I learned from one of my business coaches. It would be like effing around. I don't know what I can say and not say to be bleeped out on here. But, futzing in some of the back end stuff, instead of actually putting yourself out there, putting your business out there, it can be working on important things, but even the busyness of the background can be stopping you from actually taking action and letting people know that you exist, that your business is out there, that you have a purpose, and that the skill set and the talents that you have to be giving to people in the world is hiding behind waiting for things to be right or a fear of being rejected or whatever else it is. So the thing to really land with this is that done beats perfect every single time. So you can even see in the images down there. So part one of this is really agency housekeeping. So again, I didn't make a poll of this, but feel free to put this in the chat here. Is that have any of you gone through any of these four housekeeping things in your business in the last 90 days? Honestly. And you can say, yes, I've done this. You can put me, you can put a thumbs up. And the purpose of this isn't, to get into judgment or to, become hard on yourself on what you have or haven't done. Okay, good. Yeah, I'm seeing some thumbs up. Awesome. So what I want to do here is actually show you these four auditing questions to really help your agency. And remember, every gap is not a failure, it's a growth lever. So we're going to break these down and work through each of these one by one. So first off is, can people actually find you? If you were to open up Google right now and search your city, so I'm in Saskatoon, if you had a digital marketing agency here, or whatever your local town is, where do you rank when you Google it? You don't actually have to do this right now. You could do this afterwards. But if you can't find yourself, not necessarily being the first one, but if you can't find yourself anywhere online, well, neither can your prospects. So these are some questions here that you can ask yourself for review. So look, folks, there's going to be a replay to this. You can take screenshots of this or get your phone out and take pictures of this. But is your GBP claimed and complete? Are your listings correct across directories? So if you were to look in the multiple places that your business listing exists, is it consistent and accurate? Is your name, address, and phone number accurate everywhere? That's a really important one. And are you appearing in local searches for your market, for your niche, for your target audience? So those are some really great questions to ask. And if you're checking the box on all of those, that's awesome. As you probably have known, the near me searches have grown over 500% in the last 2 years. So if you're not listed properly, you can be invisible to your prospects. So what you can do to actually help this out with the Vendasta tools is local SEO is a product. If you don't have it active, I strongly recommend getting it set up. The standard version is free, and you can associate your Google business profile as well as a Facebook business profile to that account. The bare minimum to get started. You can upgrade to the Pro Edition to get different accounts connected and synced automatically through the platform, and then have other listing tools like Listing Sync Pro or Yext to have consistent and accurate business information put even further into different areas for listing consistency. So then the next one here, the second question that I had is, are you showing up with content? When was the last time that you posted on social media? When was the last time that you posted any content on your website? So with this one, if you're like, oh my gosh, this is really something that I feel is I need to work on and I know that I want to be working on, my big suggestion with this is always to, pick one social platform, whether it's your website, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, some medium that that your clients and your customers are on, and just pick one of them and commit to posting 2 to 3 times a week for, the next 60 days. Again, that's it to start, and quality over quantity. So In the Vendasta platform, you can use our social marketing tool. And the great thing about that is you can create one post and have it put on multiple different platforms. So if you're someone who struggles with getting onto multiple different platforms, perhaps this is a great tool to use to make one post that can then be used in multiple different places. And probably one of my favorite things, and you might notice the quote on here is when you would you hire a personal trainer who's out of shape? You've probably heard this cliche quote before, but I'm actually in the process of training or finding a new a fitness coach. So this was actually something that I chose and not just a general statement, but I'm shopping for fitness coaches and nutritionists. So I'm really looking at the people that are showing up online and seeing, where they talk the talk, but also walk that talk. So that's very similar with content here. And again, I might actually move myself just slightly to the side so you can read that other question that's there. The last one in engagement is are you positioned as the expert inside of your market? So again, these are some really great questions to be reflecting on and asking for your own business. Oh, and then hold on. Here we go. And then that third agency audit is, are you engaging with reviews? So statistically, 93% of customers say online reviews impact their purchase decision. And then something else to consider too is that I know everyone's looking for really great, 5-star Google reviews and 10-star responses and all of that. But what's also really powerful here is the ability to take a low review and actually have, a powerful, thoughtful response to that instead of either, being angry and mad or pointing the finger back at them, just having that type of quality and consistency and not necessarily lowering down to the level of the 1-star review, but to keep yourself lifted in what it is that you do and what you're out here to accomplish. And right from there is probably one of the best places that you can be and speaks a lot to your business. So people are reading every review, the good and the bad. So even the bad reviews that don't get a response, people see that. So your action plan here can be respond to every review. Proactively ask happy customers for reviews. Who would have thought, hey? Showcase the best reviews on your website. And if some of you are looking for content to share with other people, use your client testimonials as great leverage to showcase what it is you do, how you've helped them, and the results that you've produced with them, which is really that use reviews as proof in your sales process. Absolutely. Absolutely do that. Even get video testimonials. I love watching those. So what can help you with this is in the Vendasta platform, if you're like, you know what, I really could use some support with this, is the Reputation AI product that monitors, manages, and grows reviews. So this is where you can also set up, those proactive happy customer surveys. You can send out satisfaction surveys and also have a one-stop shop for where all of your reviews are listed. So it's so much easier to respond to. And then the best part too is that there's AI built into it as well, that the AI can respond to the Google and the Facebook portions of reviews, or even generate a baseline of a review for you that you can then workshop if you'd prefer. And then the fourth audit here is, are you driving traffic to your website? I know this is sometimes a very controversial decision. You're like, well, Andrew, you told us not to be worrying about this for it to be, perfect. And, perfect is also different than having a plan, executing it and seeing how it goes, and then taking those learnings, working on it and, taking those learnings instead of just waiting and not doing anything. So your website really should be, a lead machine, not just a brochure, not just a digital card to have, but really it's there to also be a tool to convert visitors into conversations. So the way I broke this out here is that you're using social media platforms and the content that you create there. So for some of you, even paid ads and in SEO, it's all to bring awareness to your brand and who you are. And then where that then takes people in the funnel is into like the consideration part. So this is where your customers or prospects see that, they click on it, it takes them somewhere, a landing page, they're going to reviews, they're reading case studies, they're on your website. So this is where they're considering you, considering your services and what you do, who you are. And then it's then on that website that it's really designed to then be a conversion. So that's where you can have the AI chat. There's forms that are on there. There's, things that they can click on. There's drip campaigns that you can sign them up to. And then there's also the CRM, which pulls a lot of the information from users and those that have been on your website, that have filled out a form or signed up for something, and then puts that in your CRM, which then gives you a really great place to work from. Whew. All right. That was a lot. And then something I also want you to consider inside of all of this too is, your competitive advantage. What is, as we say, your superpower as an agency in a business? Because as you know, SMBs have a lot of choices out there. So why should they trust you with their marketing budget? You over everybody else. So these could be some questions to reflect on and ask yourself, who is the industry or the market or the niche that I know best? And even for some of you, it's like, well, I just am starting off from a really small agency. I am, any client and any person that comes through my door is somebody I want. Well, position yourself, how would you position your business as I'm here in Saskatoon, so I could say, if I'm looking at the positioning formulas, well, I help Saskatoon businesses confidently transition into the digital landscape. And, lead with that as something as really broad as I said earlier, is a question of prompt, like how are you also positioning yourself as an expert and that authority inside of the space that you live in and exist in. This is also a different conversation for those of you with larger businesses, or you've exhausted your city and you're looking now, how do I expand into other territory? And also different for those that might be now transitioning into, I actually found out that I need to niche and go something more specific. So just questions and food for thought here. So next with this is I'm going to take you through part 2, which is the platform walkthrough. So some of the tools that will help you win this summer. And I'm going to be doing my fun screen sharing, tab flipping skills over here. So the first tool is the drip campaigns. So waking up your cold leads. So if those of you were able to attend, oh gosh, I think it was last Thursday already. My days are blending together. Jeff Leibel, who is our head of sales here, led a session and talked about leads and how there's a lot of money and opportunity that's just sitting in your book of business. You can go back to the strategy and sales library series. Go watch his video. It was great. There's tons of really good content and tips and strategy in there. But really with this is waking up your cold leads, because for some of you that have a big, book of prospects, this might be a great time to re-engage leads during the summer. So some things that you can do here is set up a drip campaign. So it's time-based emails, and you can seg them by industry, location, where they are in working with you. Personalize this. So this isn't something that I recommend, getting AI to produce just a general response. Like, use that AI tools, which I do recommend using. You could use Claude, you could use ChatGPT to help make something that also feels personalized to these people because you really care about them. And then track the opens, clicks, and engagements, because all of that's going to be available to you inside of the platform. And you can pair this with automations. And I'm going to show that in a moment here. So I am going to share my screen. All right. So for those of you working out of Partner Center, you'll find the campaign section inside of marketing, and then you can click on campaigns. What I'm going to do here is I created something in a business app, and I know some of you use business app for your own business. It's going to look very similar here. So I'm up in smokes, my campaigns here. So what I did is I created a warming leads July 2026. And I have a static list of clients that I'd have that I would just enroll in this. So what I did here, you can go to create campaign. You can give it a campaign. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. All right, and then from here, since I'm in Business App, I have the ability to add SMS functionality in here, and you would have to pay for the additional SMS credits, but that might be a really smart campaign to do, because you might find that your partners actually engage better with you via SMS than email. So know your audience and then know how to talk to them. And so this is where you could go add a new email. So existing email, there are a few templates in here. It's mostly for the layout, not so much the content that's in here. So that's where I would recommend if you're needing help coming up with something, perhaps you do use an AI tool like ChatGPT or Claude or even our Vendasta Vibe product. Darn, someone's going to give me heck for not saying that earlier. Use Vendasta Vibe to come up with a sequence here. There's a free version inside of the platform, so you don't have to pay for any additional subscriptions. Vibe. All right, and then give it a name. Then you'd add a subject line and then the preview text, and then you'd add a block of content in here. And then you would save this. I'm just going to go back and show you what I created here in the other campaign that I did. That's an ongoing one. That's draft. Okay. So yeah, I did these ones. This one's a quick hello. And again, I just quickly came up with this. Don't take it all with a grain of salt. There's probably a lot of work that could be done with this, but I have created Up and Smoke Agency, Norma Bland. She's creating this outreach here. It's been a while since we've talked. Again, I like a more personalized approach and outreach because I know that just even in my own business that I have outside of the work I do in Vendasta, that's the way my clients really, appreciate being spoken to. So it works really well for me. And I think these days people are looking for more personalized touches than just more something generic. So this one I've got set up. It's when they get enrolled in this, there's an email that's going to go out on day 1. And then 3 days later, the second email goes out. And then I got it on 3s, as you can see, all the way through to the end. So this way I'm looking for then engagements to see the open rate, the click rate, and then I can also reach out to the people that may have not responded to me inside of there, but see, oh, hey, this person clicked on it and opened the email. So I actually might reach out to them personally. Great thing to do. So this is how you can create drip campaigns inside of the platform under campaigns in both Partner Center and in Business App. Now I'm going to go quickly back to the second tool that I have, which is never miss another lead. We talk about this a lot, and you've probably heard us mention something about, AI chat receptionist, AI voice receptionist, and the AI sales agent. And 78% of customers buy from the business that responds first. So your AI receptionist responds instantly, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So if you have these already set up on your website or in your business, might be a great time to do an audit and a check of the content that's inside of there to see, is it still relevant? Is there a new promotion that I want to run for the summer to get people ready for the fall, and then upload that information here? So I'm going to go back inside of the AI workforce that I've created here. So I have Dorothy, my chat receptionist. I have Rose, the voice receptionist, and then Blanche is my sales assistant here. So I'm just going to check and see, okay, this is all the places that Dorothy's going to show up and start to engage with people. Great. I didn't want email, so I don't have that set up. And I'm just looking at the capabilities that are here. This one is actually one I could update. There is an update feature for a multiple service appointments in the chat, so I might want to review that. Correct business and knowledge source information here. Automations I've created elsewhere. Okay, so she's up to date. And if you don't have this installed on your website, there's tons of instructions inside of Partner Center, inside of our document center to help with this. If you have an account manager working with a customer success team, feel free to reach out to them if you have further questions or need support getting that set up. And then you can always play with it under chat here. And I recommend this instead of going live on your website, because you will see that you'll be able to look at what it is that Dorothy's thinking about and how she's getting to the answer to the responses here. Yeah. So I did a lot of work with Dorothy. I set my agents up here because I actually set Up and Smoke as a fireplace company. So there was specific things I wanted them to know about fireplaces. So yeah, that looks pretty good. And then same with the voice receptionist. Does Rose have the same content that Dorothy does? Yes. And again, I could probably upgrade this, so I would make a note for myself to do that. And then coming soon, I do want to plug this, that we have launching, believe next week, the social media manager and the blogger, new AI employees. Those are going to be coming out. So strongly recommend signing up for any releases that we've got. I know in a couple weeks we'll be doing and showcasing that, but check that out. And then I'm just going to go back here. So yeah, make sure you've got these set up and review them. The third tool here is automations. We get a lot of questions on automations as to what the heck are they? How do I do it? And I know I want it, but I don't know anything else. So So you can think of automations, it's this way as, the if then logic. So I'll show you some more examples, but right here, you've got your traffic source, which would be your website, the social media platforms and paid ads. So the prospect or the customer is clearly like engaging with your website or engaging on social media and these things. And then they can take action by clicking onto their website from a social media to the website, or they can be on your website and click on, engage with the AI chat receptionist. So the automations here run not only while you sleep, but they're just things that are happening in the background for you that you would often have to do manually, and just different types of workflows. So I'm going to show you a couple that I created here and used our AI agents to help with. I'm going to share this tab here. So under my automation section, so what I did is because, this business here up in smoke, I knew that I'm running a promotion right now so that there's 25% off uh, if they book a service for the fall. So if somebody was to engage with up in smoke fireplaces, they would get 25% off for the month of July if they book a service in September. So what I did is I created an automation here that tagged. So if a contact is created or modified, and the contact fields tags here. So what it's going to do, it's going to add conditions for this. It's going to include, so when a new contact is created, they're going to add the fall promo 2026. And then there's an email address, and there's a first name. Or once we've got that, I'm sorry, all of this inside of the contact, what that's going to do is then it's going to add them to the campaign of the July 2026 fall inspection deal. So what I did is I then created a smart campaign. I'm just going to go back here. So this automation means that when people come in and engage with, or sorry, when a new contact is created or modified and gets tagged with that fall promo 2026, it's then going to take them to this campaign that I created here, which is the fall inspection deal. So you can see my test person got enrolled in this when they engaged with the live chat agent. So on the website, they were asking questions about fireplaces, and then the system added them here as a contact. It tagged the individual with the fall promo 2026. And then what that did is that automatically enrolled them into the fall inspection deal. So they're going to get an email campaign here about this. And so then what I did is I created this to trigger at certain dates here, and then created a last call for this. And there's probably even some things that I could do based on when I would turn off the smart aspect of this so that it's not, the last day of July and then kicking it off for 14 days. But I did smart. So anyways, I created one of the automations here that did all of that. So then I don't have to come in now, and when a contact comes in, add the tag. When I get the notification, I don't have to manually put them inside of the campaign that's here. So the automation is doing all of that for me. There is a lot of documentation about automations inside of the platform in the document center. So if you're like, how do I get more step-by-step instructions on that? That's exactly how you can create that. I'm just going to come back to sharing this, is to know that this is ways that you can think about like the end result of what you're wanting, and then be like, oh yeah, when someone is on my website, maybe I want a, behavior-based automation set up for them. And then the fourth component here is the platform walkthrough. So really, summer is a really great time to come up with some reasons to act now and create some urgency for your clients. The great thing about seasons is that they remove any awkwardness of reaching out. You're not cold calling. You have a genuine reason to reach out. So these are some suggestions and just ideas to consider. I could maybe offer like a summary marketing audit. You could use the snapshot report to deliver that instant value to prospects before you pitch or while you pitch. A Q3 bundle special. So knowing that we're moving into fall, perhaps you want to put a special incentive together for existing clients. That could be great ones to reach out to. Seasonal content push. So even using the language of back to school, or being prepared, getting ahead of the curve in that type of languaging inside of marketing, the big back to school prep campaigns. So like I said, just some things to think about. I'm not sitting here saying you have to do any of these things, just food for thought for your agency. And then the big thing on this is your 90-day summer action game plan. So in the first 30 days here, you can read through this. So complete all 4 points of the agency audit. This might be the first thing and the one thing that you really want to tackle. You can claim and optimize your GBP. You can launch a re-engagement campaign to cold leads. You could also, set up the AI receptionist or the voice receptionist on your website and in your business. Because again, when you've got the tools, when you're actually showcasing that what your clients could expect and working from you, you have that displayed somewhere, that really goes a long way with prospects and with customers. And then from there in the get leads, so we're looking at get found in the first 30 days and then get leads in the 60 days here. So you could, do this sooner. Launch a summer promotion or bundle offer. Build at least one automation funnel inside of Partner Center or in your business app. And then you could publish 8 pieces of social content. I mentioned this earlier, and that could be something that you really focus on. And then run snapshot reports on 10 cold prospects. I do have something as a best practice for that in one of my later slides here. And then at the 90-day portion, so this is where reviewing campaign analytics, always a good thing. Review the analytics and the data. When you do something, look back and see, how did it work? What results did we produce? Did we set out what we originally intended to do? Because that's where you're going to get the most valuable data that people want to pay money for. People are looking for this type of data and information and insight, and you really get it when you start trying things out and seeing what sticks and what works with people, which is why I brought up that part about the perfection of waiting until it's perfect to start. You sometimes just got to start and see what sticks, and then be committed to following through, looking at the data, refining that, because it's easier to refine that and make greatness out of it. And then plan a Q4 strategy with that summer momentum. Like, keep this going. One thing that I would also add maybe as a best practice in here is find times to celebrate. Look, as business owners, it's really hard out there. It's challenging when you're constantly faced with no's, or that there's so much to do, that the best thing that you can do for yourself and for your business is, once in a while, maybe every Friday, you celebrate the good jobs and the accomplishment of what you've actually done, because that critic inside can easily cast a shadow over the good things, and then you really don't get to see that. And that's where some of the gold and the momentum is for you to bring your focus, your energy back into this stuff so you can get back at it. All right. It's 11:35 a.m. my time. I know I've spent about 35 minutes going through all of this, so thank you. And so Q&A time. Do we have questions?
Yes, we do. We have 2 questions relating to tag.
Oh. How do you add contact tags, please? Okay. Let me see here. So I'm just going to share my other screen. So inside of there's a couple ways you can do this. So you can do this manually, coming into your CRM contacts. You can select an individual and then create your own tags here. For doing an automation with creating tags, I know I changed one of my automations that, because I believe in this one here, contacts, tags include. I might get back to you on this, because you know what? I realized I might have just before this deleted my automation that actually created the tag. But what I did here, blank. Let's just do this quickly here. Oh, why are you not showing up? Oh. Dear company, whoops. Let's choose a different one. It would be a contact is created. Created or modified. I will actually get back to you on this, because I don't want to take up more time with, unless Lily or Nathan are on the line here and can quickly know where I'm meaning to go with that, but I will get better instructions for you on this.
As far as updating tags in the automation, what you're looking for is the update contact, and then select tag as the thing to update. So a contact is created or modified, or a
Modified.
contact an action, whatever your trigger is.
Yep.
But then you would say for your action step after your trigger, you would say update contact, and the spot you'd update is tags. You can choose to add a tag, you can choose to replace a tag, or you can choose to clear a tag value. Now, the only way this works is if the tag actually already exists in your CRM. And to do that, you go into the CRM, go to contacts, click into a contact, and then on our basic information right here is where the tags would live. Any tags you've got already will show up here, but you can type in new ones as well. And if you have specific tags, let's say you don't have clients yet, so you don't have any tags existing, but you know which tags you want. What I would recommend, add yourself in as like a dummy contact and just add whichever tags you are going to be wanting so that they exist, and then you'll be able to build them into the automations.
Mm-hmm.
As for bulk tagging, Eddington, I don't know if there's in the CRM a bulk action to update those tags. Let's just quickly check here, Andrew, if we can select a few.
Tried that earlier.
Yeah.
Actions.
And we would go more actions. And then update contact. Yeah. And then this field to change would be tags.
There we go.
And then you'd select generate, or it's you either set the value, you clear the value, or you append to value. So if you're adding a tag, I recommend append to value, because then it's not going to delete tags you've already got on there. And then that's how you bulk tag. And that tag doesn't exist right now, so you have to make sure that tag is there first to be able to bulk add it. So that's the one hiccup there. Any tags you think you might need, just add them to your dummy contact or your own contact in there, so they already exist. And then you'll be able to do bulk actions and automations with those tags. Hopefully that answers your question there, Eddington.
Fairly similar to what you have gone through, Andrew, is how important tags are.
Oh, yeah. Let me go back and look here. I mean, tags are important in a way that if you imported a list, for example, so let's say you went to a conference, you met a bunch of people, or you got a list of contacts from there, the tags can be used just to identify and segment clients. So if they were at that conference and you knew that they were a conference attendee, then you can create a specific campaign for them. So then that way I would probably go to the campaign section and then create a drip campaign for them. You know, if they were all ideal clients for you, then I would have something that would be engaging about, you know, getting on a call with you, or, you know, if you wanted to leverage the snapshot report, you could use that in there. Just something with a call to action that really gets you communicating with them, because part of the purpose of that too is not just that they buy something from you, but really, you know, people these days need, what is it, like 21 plus contacts or touch points before they're willing to commit to buying. So this is probably at a place where some of them may or may not know you. So you're just looking to start conversation with a lot of them. So I strongly recommend that, and then booking a meeting, or again, just following that information then to see who engages with that. So I hope that helps. Tags just really help with segmenting your clients and your list in your CRM here, so you could prospect them. Yeah. Okay.
Hey, that's all the questions that we have for today.
Okay. Awesome. Well, the good news is I'm not done yet. So before you drop off, there's some things three things I want to cover with you. So keep your momentum going. So some places that you can go access are Vendasta documentation, as well as that sparkle icon inside of the platform. And your partner center is really where everything is the home base for you. Everything starts there. Even a fun challenge if you're looking or newer you're looking for leads and newer in your business. One of the best things that I ever learned was making a list of 50 clients or people, businesses that you want to reach out to. So come up with 50 people, reach out to every single one of them. And then something that even our other, account managers will often say is that, showing up at a local business and actually talking to the business owner goes miles. So in-person visits, you could print off a snapshot report in advance, 24 hours in advance, and show up the business and ask to talk to the owner. And remember, done is better than perfect. Try it, learn, adjust, and your summer surge starts today. So next week, our next session is a Q&A, ask the experts. So what you're going to do is we're going to take some of the top questions from you folks, whether it's best practices, how do I do this? Lily has very wonderfully put in the submit your questions URL there. Click on it, ask us a question, and then next week we are going to go live. You're going to get all three of us. It's going to be a fun house with Nathan, Lily, and myself. I don't know where we're all going to be because we can't all share this spot, but maybe we will. It's going to be one you don't want to miss. So get those questions in by this Thursday, July 9th, end of day, and then we'll take 3 questions from that list and go over them live next week. And then lastly, this Thursday, a very special event. So with our sales and strategy with Vendasta, we have our very own CEO, Brendan King, who will be speaking from pitch to product, how AI is changing the way you grow with Vendasta. This is a great opportunity to be live with Brendan, hear directly from him, and get some really great gold and insight. So highly recommend showing up live this Thursday. Lily again has put the link inside of the webinar here so you can sign up and register for it. If you think you're going to be busy, sign up anyways and get registered so you can watch the replay of it. Yes. And with that, thank you so much for being here live. Thank you so much to those that are watching the recording of this, and we will see you next week.